Hello everyone, welcome to the home of British motorsport here at Silverstone. It was just a few weeks ago that the crowds here in the UK broke the records for the attendance of a Formula One race weekend, and GB3 Championship is part of the pathway to Formula One. You are looking at the drivers who could be those next Formula One drivers, similar to George Russell, who once started in this championship. I'm Chris McCarthy, he's Piers, probably a bit more familiar to you in this championship than I am, but he is also back here at Silverstone. This is round 13 of the season, where we officially begin the second half of the championship. Piers.
Oh, brilliant to be back, isn't it? Second visit we've had to Silverstone this season. We started the year here in a cold April. I remember back when Jonas and I were in our coats and gloves, and now we're here, shorts, t-shirt. I was sun cream on, and the drivers are ready to go racing once again.
They absolutely are. The conditions are a lot better this time, aren't they? So why don't we remind ourselves and yourselves what happened last time out when GB3 was at Red Bull Ring.
The GB3 Championship heads to the Styrian Mountains and the Red Bull Ring for the very first time. The host of the Austrian Grand Prix is home to high speeds, big overtakes and absolute commitment. Martin Molnar will lead from pole position, but it's been a better start from Max Rem, his teammate, who takes over the lead at the opening corner. Nikita Bedrin now onto the scene, looks to the outside of Rem, can't quite do the move. Martin Molnar out wide as he gets attacked from Lucas Fluscher. Huge fight down into Schlossgold. 2 wide, 2 rows deep. Nikita Bedrin's going to win again. Simply unbeatable at this point in the championship. Bedrin's championship lead continues to grow. Lucas Fluscher's third consecutive podium promotes him to second in the title race. Perfect conditions for racing here on Sunday as the drivers are getting themselves ready for yet another race. Nikita Bedrin will be starting from pole position, ready to try and search for another victory. It's a perfect start from Bedrin as we climb up the hill towards the opening corner. Molnar gets plenty of wheel spin as he's attacked by Lucas Fluscher on the run to the opening turn. Deegan under pressure, well out of position. Dante Vinci to the outside of Leon Wilson, and he's also got some assistance from his teammate. Abby Pulling in a fight with Patricio Gonzalez. These two came to contact back in Silverstone. Bedrin is going to win again, the 6th one of the 2026 campaign. The championship leader is up to a 90-point lead over Lucas Fluscher. Max Rem will take to third position. Lucas Fluscher onto the podium again, a 4th consecutive one, and he'll have a chance later on this afternoon to go for a record-breaking 5 consecutive podiums in GB3. Reverse grid ready then as the drivers prepare themselves. It's going to be an all Gonzalez brother front row with Rodrigo Gonzalez ahead of Patricio. Great start from Patricio Gonzalez, who's going to take the lead to the opening corner. Big crash at the top of the hill. It remains a Gonzalez 1-2, but Nikita Bedrin's charging here. He's up to 4th. 2 hill speeds here, getting very close. Oh, Gilbert is out of the race. Big spin at Schlossgold. Once again, the hill speeds are so tight with each other. Rodrigo's down the inside. Contact between the two. Q-Ho Lee's going to be out of the race. Late on, the two of them will fall off the podium. A brilliant drive from Patricio Gonzalez to win in what's been a perfect weekend for the championship leader Nikita Bedrin.
At Red Bull Ring last time out, and Piers, it brings us to halfway of the season. I'm sorry, it's quite distracting. You have to turn the camera here. Look, I can see myself in the background.
Brilliant.
Hello everyone, proper third person stuff. Sorry, I had to do it. We're halfway through the season then. Let's sort of recap where we are. We've got a bit of a runaway leader, haven't we, in Nikita Bedrin. Been hugely impressive so far, hasn't he?
Oh, no doubt. When he was here at the first round of the season, dominated the start of the year with VRD as well. A team that have been there or thereabouts over the last few years, but really taken a step forward this year. They've got some financial backing from some sponsors. They've got Nikita, probably the most experienced driver, I'd say, in Europe, or maybe not the world at this level of racing. Raced 2 full seasons of F3, has done Formula Regional, is GB3 this year, and is absolutely run away with it at the start, and he's running away with the championship as well. Electric pace, consistency has been there as well, and also no dropped scores or no non-scores really for him as well, which has been crucial, because There's been a lot of drivers that have challenged Nikita this year, but many of them have had problems up and down the season. And we saw then also great to have Austria, the Red Bull Ring, on the calendar for the first time as well. Another circuit that Formula 1, Formula 2 and Formula 3 visit that these drivers will be hoping to use in the future. Yeah,
GB3 is starting to become a real international championship, and I think it's that's helping these drivers get ready for the step up into Formula 3. But someone who, similar to Piers, is coming back for this round is Jason Pribble. Let's hear what he had to say when he spoke to Piers earlier.
Jason, first of all, great to have you back with us with the Nitrous ADM team. We've missed you the last couple of rounds, but you know you've been busy nonetheless.
Yeah, it's been tricky watching from the sidelines. I mean, obviously the streams are great, as you would know, but it's not as good as being in the races yourself. So yeah, I'm happy to be back.
Happy to be back indeed here at Silverstone Grand Prix circuit. Great to drive these cars around a circuit. It really suits them, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's wicked. I think this is such a big track that you can only really drive it in a car fast enough for it, right? It is built for Formula 1 cars, and so to drive a car like this around here, it makes it pretty entertaining. You know, the long straightaways, you don't have a lot of time to think, so it's quite entertaining, yeah.
And we've been here once this year already, if I can get my words out, of course. What experience will you bring from that first event that we had at the start of the year into this weekend in August?
I think the biggest thing for us is the fact that last time we were here was our first race, and there was a lot of data that we didn't really have. Obviously, the British GT cars aren't here this weekend, but you know, just the way the track evolves, the way the tire evolves, because we've only got our 2 sets of tires. So we've used our 2 sets of tires for qualifying, and we'll see how the tire evolves over the course of the race, which is something that we didn't really anticipate at the beginning of the year. But now that we know how the tire evolves, it'll be a lot better.
Well, I look forward to seeing how you get on with that. And you mentioned qualifying. We're speaking just post-qualifying. I know not exactly the session you were hoping for.
Yeah, Quali A went pretty well. I mean, first session back, it wasn't perfect. There was definitely a lot of time in the car, or a lot of time in me. The potential was there in the car, and for Quali B, just something seemed to go wrong. So it's a bit of a shame, especially since that was the quicker session. We didn't even go faster. So I think fundamentally we're missing something, but yeah, I mean, our race pace is really good. We did some testing yesterday on that, and so we're at least looking forward to it.
Let's talk about the races. You're optimistic for that. What gives you that sort of mindset?
I think basing our experience off of last year and just considering the lap times and the race pace that we were experiencing last year, considering my race sims from this weekend and yesterday, you know, the race pace, you know, the overall lap time, the consistency of the lap time and the consistency of the car has been a lot better than it was last time we were here. I obviously know how these cars race a lot better now, and so, you know, combine those two. Even though other people will know that, I think we're just a little bit down on manpower, and so, you know, that little bit of data makes a big difference.
Well, I bet you're itching to get in a race again. You've had a couple of rounds off, unfortunately, but now race is coming up. I can see you're excited for that.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing to compare it to. You can watch races, you can do a couple laps in a go-kart, but there's nothing quite like this.
Well, we'll look forward to seeing that smile in the races, and also hopefully you can have a good run out this weekend.
Yeah, thank you.
Good to hear from Jason Pribble returning to the championship this weekend. Coming into a bit of a difficult challenge, though, isn't he, here at Silverstone? What are the drivers going to be facing out there, Piers, particularly when we get to the racing? What does this circuit contain?
Silverstone's a great circuit, really suits these cars. We just heard from Jason Pribble. He's rejoining along with Jack Taylor as well, back in the championship after a couple of rounds off. So those drivers are joining back into a routine where all the other drivers have been very much, you know, racing a few weekends off in a row, and they've had some testing as well. So Jason will be looking to try and get back up to pace. But you mentioned Silverstone at the head of the show. Home of the British Grand Prix has been for the longest time. Brilliant circuit, really suits these cars. The medium high speed nature of pretty much all the corners. Only 2 real big stops, to be honest. The rest of it is carrying speed. Such a wide circuit as well, gives us overtaking opportunities around the lap. We saw Nikita Bedram at the first event of the year, was pole, but then lost the lead twice, then had to fight his way back through and was able to do that. Vale chicane was his overtaking opportunity of choice. But you've also got the village, the loop. You can go use the DRS zones as well down the Hanger Straight towards Stowe, and also down the Wellington Straight at Brooklands as well. So space to race, really brilliant circuit. The drivers love it as well because you can keep the minimum speed high and really lean on the aerodynamics of these updated GB3 cars.
Yeah, so for Formula 1 fans, DRS is still alive in the GB3 Championship, which I think is a great thing. There already is a lot of overtaking opportunities, but when you add that in, there's definitely a lot more, isn't there?
It just gives you an opportunity to get that much closer into the braking zones. These cars have got so much mechanical and aerodynamic grip now with the bigger tyres, the wings, for example. Stowe, it's just a rubber that breaks down 1, maybe 2 gears. So if we didn't have that DRS, it would be nearly impossible to get past if the driver ahead doesn't make a mistake. The DRS is a tactical thing. You need to get within a second, try and get into that dirty air, then get the DRS to get close and then affect a move.
Absolutely. Well, let's go to someone now who says Silverstone is his favourite circuit in the world, Flynn Jacks. Let's go over to him now.
Flynn, we're back at Silverstone once again. On the back of qualifying, at the start of the sessions, it was looking really strong. You went top in both qualifying 1 and qualifying 2. Couldn't quite hold on to the ultimate pace at the end, but still pretty strong from I would say anyway.
Yeah, I was quite happy with what I achieved with the car in relative to what we had set up. We tried something different from Friday, and we just tried to stick with it throughout. And it was a bit inconsistent, but I was happy with the lap time I managed to pull out.
Yeah. When you say you're trying something, it's that sort of car setup, the way you're driving it, or what sort of thing. Give us an idea of those at home who maybe haven't driven a GB3 car.
It was more in the setup, a bit lively, a bit squirmy, but it was just trying to manage it, It was more like a tale of 2 halves. First half lap was good, and then struggled a little bit the second, but it's okay.
It's always a compromise, isn't it, in racing? This season, we're coming into what is it? Second full season.
Yeah.
Second full season in the championship. I think you've really taken steps forward. We've enjoyed seeing you being up the front, taking your first win. I imagine confidence is pretty high at the moment in terms of yourself and with the team.
Yeah, I'm confident in these guys, and I'm confident in the car. I really like the car this year, to be honest, with the changes. It's a lot more fun to drive with the extra power. It makes it feel like a smaller, more nimble car. And with the win, the podium's coming in. It's just boosted confidence. So I'm at a track which I love. It's probably my favourite track in the world. So I'm feeling good going into it.
Going racing with a smile on your face. We've been here racing once this year already. We know that overtaking is possible around here. We saw that in the first event of the year. What are you expecting from the races, both as a whole and also from your perspective?
I'm hoping the setup change that we made is going to help in the race. We'll see. Hopefully it helps with the tyres. But it's just going to be trying to manage my tyres throughout the race, see how it goes.
Amazing. Well, Flynn, thanks so much for chatting to us. Good luck in the races. We'll see how you get on in the bright yellow elite car.
Yeah, thank you.
That's Flynn Jacks there talking about this being his favourite circuit. How about you? Your favourite circuit?
I'd say so, yeah, definitely. One of the best in these cars.
What's it like to drive?
Do you know, I say this to a lot of people. It actually feels like what I imagine flying a plane feels like. I've never flown a plane, but it's so fast, so smooth. Minimum speed is so high. You're just literally dancing the car on the edge of grip at high speed. It feels incredible. And it's also great for racing on as well, as we've discussed.
It's all right, us talking about it, but let's have a look at a hot lap with a GB3 car with Dante Vici with Piers talking over the top. Let's go to that now.
Let's take an onboard lap in the GB3 Championship in 2026 in August here with Dante Vici for hill speed as we head through Copse Corner, nearly flat out in qualifying conditions. And we head down towards the world famous section of corners, Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel. Maggots the right, hit the apex, stay right to open up. Beckett's, stay left, and then the most important of the trio, Chapel here. Get the curb on the apex, plant the throttles. We've got a long, over 700 metre long run towards the next corner, which is Stowe. The hanger straight, DRS will be open. You can see top left hand side of shot, the DRS open on this lap. Overtaking inside and outside can be done in the races. Through towards Stowe, off camber and downhill at the exit. Watch out for track limits once again on the exit. Dante absolutely nails it this time, and we brake heavily now for Vale. Inside and outside overtaking opportunities in the races. We stay left to open up the right of Club. We can go nearly flat out there, and qualifying conditions it may require a lift if you're in the dirty air of the races. Now the Hamilton straight, an opportunity once again for the drivers to use the slipstream and get themselves in an overtaking position for Village. This is flat out from Abbey and then the left of Farm before we head down to Village and the Loop. Village, very late braking opportunity. Inside and outside we'll see moves here. And the Loop, probably the trickiest corner on the circuit, one of the slowest but also critical to lap time, and also we'll see a lot of overtaking there in the races. Get the traction down on the exit, we flick through left onto the Wellington straight. Once again DRS will be enabled if you are within a second of the car in front in the races. Brooklands corner, high load, high commitment. Use the curb on the entry to open up the entry to Brooklands carry high minimum speed through there. We didn't quite make the apex on this lap, but we're back to the right for Luffield. First apex must be hit. Second apex you don't need to get back to as long as you get good traction on the exit. Watch out for track limits, the gravel's right there. Then Woodcote is completely flat out for a lap of the Silverstone Grand Prix circuit in GB3.
See a look at the track map and a hot lap as well. Great circuit this, and a good qualifying session earlier as well. We were watching up at Brooklands. Deegan getting 2 pole positions, and surprised to hear that that's his first pole positions as well. Would you say this is a bit of a breakthrough for him qualifying wise in what's been a season of real ups and downs?
No doubt, it's a breakthrough for him as a whole. We've seen him race so well, he's taken victories, he's been fastest lap on a number of occasions. We had to double check pole position for a high-tech Deacon Fairclough, the driver that was so fast at points last year and has been this year as well. But no, first pole position, just about nipped double pole as well, so he was very happy with that. And we haven't had a chance to see Deegan in completely clear air very often. You know, he overtakes so well, he races so hard. This is going to be an interesting thing to see, and he needs the points, really, doesn't he? He's had such a torrid year, bad luck, misfortune, some within his control, some without his control, and he's really hoping to push on and use this as a start to a really strong second half of the season.
Well, let's hear what Deegan Fairclough had to say when he caught up with Piers Pryor after taking those 2 pole positions.
Deegan, feels like a long time coming. I had to double check myself when I had a look, and I was like, hang on, this is first Deegan Fairclough pole, so many fast slaps, so many race wins, but it must be a good feeling to finally start from the front of the grid.
Yeah, I mean, very special, and I'm so pleased. Very happy, and I just can't thank the team enough. We've been working so hard, and finally it's come together. Silverstone being a very historic background for me, it's been very special. And I just love the flow. It's such an amazing circuit, and to do it here is very pleasing.
Very pleasing indeed. You've had such great pace over the season and a half now you've done of GB3. It must be a really good validation for all the work that you've been doing with the team. You mentioned the team already, because you've been chipping away, so close on so many occasions.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long time away, and I forgot how good this feeling is, and yeah, I just need to keep my head down and keep working hard as a team, and hopefully there's a few more to come.
And that last session as well, the second qualifying session, which sets the grid for the second race, you left it late.
Yes, indeed. I didn't really expect it, to be honest, but I just gave it my absolute everything and sent it, and was able to get it. And mate, my ears, my engineer screamed so loud, but I'm so happy, and it shows how happy everyone is and how much work has gone into it.
And let's look ahead to the races now. Best starting position for both of them. What's the plan?
Get a good start. We've had some good starts this year, so hopefully we can just do that. And then it's just managing the pace and being sensible and nothing too silly. Collect some good points this weekend. Now we're in a good position, and yeah, I look forward to the reverse grid as well.
It marks the halfway point of the season as well. I know that the first half of the season has been up and down, shall we say. I imagine that this is going to be the perfect start to kicking on for the second part of the year.
Yeah, I mean, after leaving Austria, spoke to you lot and said it's been a tough first half, and going to get my head cracking down, knuckled down, and focus for this second half. And yeah, we've certainly done that. Yeah, and I just can't believe how unfortunate it's been this year, but we've taken it, and it makes you become a better driver. So I'm just pleased we can just focus on to the home circuits like Silverstone, Donny, Brands being my favourite. So I'm really looking forward to them.
Amazing. Deegan, congratulations. First pole, done it twice. Amazing. Good luck in the races.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So we're down here in pit lane, then cars have just gone out behind us, Piers. Deegan Fairclough, as we mentioned, is on pole, but he's not going to have it easy, is he? Martin Molnar next to him. No wins for him this season, nor for Lucas Fluscher, just behind second in the championship, and then Abbey next after that as well. So it's going to be a tough battle for him out there.
Very tough battle. Also 3 tenths covering the top 5 positions. Don't forget, championship leader and double winner here at the start of the season, Nikita Bedjan, goes off 10th as well, so keep an eye on him.
Yeah, he's going to be a hard charger, isn't he? I think let's wait no longer. Let's go straight up to the commentary box and join Lewis McGlade. This is round 13 of the GB3 Championship live here at Silverstone.
The second half of the season is officially go in the GB3 Championship of 2026, and we return to where we all started, back at the home of British motor racing. Of course, it is Silverstone, the circuit which Nikita Bedrin began his championship challenge, winning both of the opening races of the season. Can he do so again this round? He'll have to do from a little bit further back on the grid, as we'll take a look once again at the circuit. Magnus Beckers and Chapel, the run down into Stowe, where we've got that DRS zone, which takes us into the braking zone and through the fast right-hander. A second DRS detection point brings us back out on to the Wellington straight, where they head down into Brooklands. Another great overtaking opportunity for the drivers, as they'll compete around the 18 turns and the 25-minute races that we have here at Silverstone. A fantastic track. As the European road trip comes to a close, we return to Britain for the next 3 rounds before venturing out abroad once again for the season finale. You can see him there. Obviously, in the pre-show, you might have heard from Deegan Fairclough. A first ever pole position for Deegan Fairclough in the GB3 Championship, and he's eyeing up a third victory as well. Of course, he had one victory in Monza at the end of last year. He had a victory a few weeks ago at the Hungaroring. And of course, he's eyeing up a first victory in GB3 on British soil. Can he do so, leading Martin Molnar, who is in search for his first victory in the championship? Lucas Fluscher almost had the record-breaking streak of podium finishes. Obviously, it was 4 podiums that he's got. He nearly got 5, but didn't quite manage to seal that one. But he could return to podium finishing ways if he can cross the line where he is. But they'll all be eyeing up 10th place, which will be Nikita Bedrin, who obviously has plenty of speed in the VRD racing car, but troubles in qualifying have left him a little bit out of position. The 21 car grid, they'll begin their formation lap here under beautiful conditions here at Silverstone. Looks like it's going to be sunny, even a little bit hotter even tomorrow. It's about 25 degrees ambient temperature, plenty hot enough for these drivers to get their Pirellis up into the operating window. Deegan Fairclough will eye up his opportunity to pull away from the grid and then begin his warm-up procedures. Of course, the victories that he's had before, they've come from the front row of the grid. As we said before, it's his first time starting from pole. Did lead around here in race 2 earlier on in the season, before unfortunately retiring, heading out onto the Hangar Straight. Won't remind him of that. Obviously, he doesn't want to have that in his mind at all. I'm sure he's pretty confident. He says that the hard work has been put in by the team to bring them back to this position. Green flag is waved then, and the formation lap will begin. And we'll take a look at the starting order, where like I said, there's a few drivers comfortably out of position. Got a few drivers that have really improved though in this round when it comes to their qualifying compared to the previous rounds they've done in the GB3 Championship. And obviously the start of the second half, but more so for the race tomorrow morning. Rowan Cowell-Pilling will start from 5th position alongside Flynn Jacks for the Elite Motorsports team, who again has had that fantastic victory we saw a few weeks ago. Maxime Rem will start alongside Patricio Gonzalez for VRD Racing in 8th position. Back on row number 5, it'll be Jacob Mikulev, his personal best qualifying in the GB3 Championship, alongside Nikita Bedrin, championship leader by more than 100 points. Dante Vinci and Leon Wilson will start 11th and 12th position. There was a 3-place grid penalty for Q-Ho Lee, which will drop him down to 13th position after a discretion at the previous round. And Eddie Robinson, a new driver for this round for Elite Motorsports, will start from 14th. Then it's Rodrigo Gonzalez and Ricardo Baptista starting from there. And then we've got Jason Pribble, Jack Taylor starting 17th and 18th position, with Aurelian Nobel, Yu Hao Fu, and of course the final row of the grid, which sees Peter Bowser-Nellis start from 21st and last. So the drivers will continue on their warm-up, and we will get ourselves ready for a race which potentially Deegan Fairclough will be eyeing up I mean, he'd hope it'll be a comfortable victory, but of course that is easier said than done. As into Brooklands they go, the final bits of the warm-up procedure. Shouldn't be too hard to keep the tyre temps up and in the working window, but of course, as we mentioned before, and time and time again, if you really don't like us mentioning it, but I will do anyway, tyres are a big thing here in GB3. They have to get their 2 sets of tyres through the entire round, including 2 qualifying sessions and 3 races. It's Lewis McGlade and Piers Pryor in the comedy booth. Piers, this should be a fun race. I mean, we'll see if Deegan can actually cross the line in first this time.
Yeah, we've seen Deegan so competitive over so many years, but never from pole. And this is an opportunity for him now to show his pace. I think on so many occasions he's arguably been the fastest driver in race trim, but has had to fight his way through and not been able to show maybe what he can do. We saw at the start of the season Nikita Bedrin was able to get away. Well, actually he lost positions, but once he got in the lead he was able to pull away. Can Deegan do the same? It was so close in qualifying though. Looking forward to seeing how this one plays out, and a second time at a circuit in a year, everyone's already up to speed.
Very much so. Obviously having raced here in the season open, they've done 3 races abroad. They returned to the UK, they returned to you in the commentary seat alongside me, Piers. It's good to have you back, actually.
Good to be back. Looking forward to this. GB3, our home, Lewis, our home.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, get off telly. You can come and join me again in the booth. You're all right. Obviously, those final drivers filtering their way into position. Short run down into the opening corner here at Copse, and Deegan Fairclough will try and get absolutely all the way. He was really good on the race starts earlier on in the season, and I suspect he might well be really good on them here. The preparations are over. We are in position and are ready to go. Green flag is waved at the back of the field. Deegan Fairclough will lead from Martin Molnar. There's Lucas Fluscher and Abby Pulling on row number 2. We are ready to go. Red lights are on and we're racing for round 13 of the GB3 Championship. Deegan Fairclough will hold down into the opening corner. It's been a perfect start from him. He's pulled out plenty of car length over Martin Molnar in the black and blue. It was also a really good start, I think, from Rowan Cowell-Pilling and Lucas Fluscher, the XL duo, who take us up towards Magnus Beckers and Chapel. Side by side for second position. It's Fluscher to the outside. Big slide from him as he heads his way through. It will be Martin Molnar hanging on. Max Rem has gone off, I believe, in the background as he tries to bring that black and white Ronin back onto the racing line.
Yeah, Jason Pribble also followed through and they run off through Maggots and Beckett's, but a bold start from the front of the field. Fluscher was racy in Maggots and Beckett's. We now head down towards Stowe.
Outside, there's going to be a big look, I'm sure, when they head their way into the braking zone of Stowe Corner. You can make a couple of moments there. There was definitely something there between the 2 XLs and the fight for third position. Deegan Fairclough's got a comfortable lead, though, in the black, silver and red. There is a big look to the inside. That's Flynn Jacks making a move in the bright yellow elite car. He's going to get squeezed out a little bit here, and he's going to have to drop back behind the number 8 of Rowan Campbell-Pilling, who finds himself back up into third position. It'll be Campbell-Pilling ahead of Fluscher, ahead of what would now be Abby Pulling, I believe, who's got now up into 5th position. Flynn Jacks, after that attempt, has dropped down to 6th.
Yeah, Jacks up 3 and up 2, down 3 as we've got the number 8 there, Ricardo Baptista, front suspension damage for Elite Motorsport. We continue to race until we see any interruptions. Though, nearly 3 wide from the number 1 up the inside. This continues to rage on. That's Flynn Jacks has been looking so racy in this one. He's on the fence. Through the middle, Leon Wilson.
Yeah, it was Patricio Gonzalez there going really slow in the yellow highlighted VRD racing car. Safety car has been deployed. You can see by the LED boards around the circuit, courtesy of Baptista's car being stationary through Maggots, Beckers and Chapel. Max Rem had his big moment in the white and black Rodin, but still was able to clearly get himself back into contention. You can see there on the timing tower, Fairclough from Molnar, Campbell-Pilling doing a great job on the race start. Flynn Jacks got himself back involved in that. Abby Pulling was also in that, where it was, she had a couple of cars. Max Rem, her teammate, diving it down the inside to try and get through there. Very lucky to have all got through on that, to be honest.
Yeah, busy first lap. We saw it, didn't we, last time we were here a few months ago when it was very much colder, but similar, of course, cars and similar conditions. It was sunny, but much cooler. But everyone, now they've done a full race weekend at Silverstone. They know how the circuit plays out. They know where to place their car, and drivers are more confident. They're not so, I'm not sure how this is going to play out. We've already been here, done it once this season, and that's why we saw drivers like Lucas Fluscher at this exact point of the circuit 1 lap ago, trying around the outside. You can see the dust being kicked up, and that was something that the drivers will have to deal with as well. We heard in the pre-race interviews that some of the drivers, and Fairclough was saying the circuit's a bit dusty, and if you get offline, because we've got a lot of other championships racing on circuit this weekend, they drag dirt on in different places, the rubber's changed, so the drivers have to be quite adaptable between sessions, even between qualifying, which wasn't that many hours ago, and the race, the circuit will feel different. Also, these tyres are the ones they've used in qualifying as well, so won't have exactly the same level of grip as they had earlier on. They still need to find the absolute maximum, and those that can get them fired up quickly will be more confident at the front of the field. Good to see Baptista. He's okay. Car looks a little squint, so the XL team will get set to work on that overnight, but unfortunately that looks like a DNF for Baptista in this one.
Well, I mean, you say about the conditions, how difficult it can be and how much it can change. The circuit is well known for being quite windy, and was having a bit of a chat after qualifying, before we went racing here with between Mike Epps, Nicholas Taylor, all having a bit of a chin wag. Of course, Mike Epps is the driving coach for Thomas Ingram Hill in GB4. Nicholas Taylor is a photographer, but also the 2022 GB4 champion. And they were talking about how easy Flat Abbey is, and he said in this condition there's a bit of a wind, a crosswind, that makes it quite difficult. As we'll see a replay here of the race start.
Dream start away from his first pole position for Deegan Fairclough. Had 4 car legs by the time we turned into turn 1, so he mentioned that in the post-qualifying interview, that he's had some good starts and was looking forward to using that. And then this is the battle we had down towards Maggots and Beckett's left of shot there. Lucas Flusha get a good run on the exit of Copse and put himself in a position to go around the outside. We know that was unsuccessful in the end. In fact, Flusha lost a few positions after his momentum was then backwards. You lose momentum in one corner, you're then off position, out of position for the next, you're then under pressure from the next, and Flusha at the moment sits in 5th place after he was challenging for 2nd away from the line.
Obviously, it's 6 podiums that Lucas Flusha's got. One of them is a victory, but of those 6 podiums, 4 of them have come in the last 5 races. Shows how much he's really turned around his form. Safety car is coming into the pit lane then, so the control goes back the way of Deegan Fairclough. Then it's Molnar, Rowan Campbell-Pilling looking for his 2nd podium in the GB3 Championship. Flynn Jacks and Lucas Flusha. For Martin Molnar, we're looking for obviously his first victory in the championship as well. Deegan Fairclough, looking for his first victory on British soil. We head our way back racing here at the home of British Motor Racing, with Fairclough leading by half a second over Martin Molnar. Rowan Campbell-Pilling in 3rd position with Flynn Jacks. Oh, the safety car's not good. It's remained out. I was getting well excited by that.
You were getting yourself revved up racing, Lewis, and there's still a car stationary at Maggots and Beckett. So next time by, you can save that energy for next lap.
I saw it at race controls. They're like, well, this will get him. Do you know what it did? Absolutely did. It got me there. We actually had this back in Hungary when you were off gallivanting doing your own thing. It's fine, don't worry, you're a busy man. And the safety car came out and then came back in again, but then the safety car boards didn't go off. That is not what's happened here. The safety car obviously was getting ready to come in, but then they decided that they wanted one more lap of safety car. I'll try and get excited this time again.
Yeah, well, it says we have confirmation the safety car will be in this time, and you can see that Maggots and Beckett's is now clear. Keep an eye on Nikita Bedrin, Italian driver, currently sitting at 8th, qualified 10th, which was below expectation, I would say, considering he was a driver that was double pole, double winner at the start of the year at this very venue. Conditions slightly different, but I think they just missed the mark. It'll be interesting to see if we can catch up with, or I'll try and catch up with Nikita, assuming he doesn't get on the podium, which is entirely possible in this race, as we saw how aggressive and successful he was at overtaking, Vale being his overtaking opportunity of choice in those races. We'll see him push on forward. He's got Abbey pulling right in front of him, so that won't be hard, that won't be easy to get through there, because also, and right in front you've got Rem and Flusha. I mean, ultimately our top 8-9 drivers all so close. A reminder, it was only 3/10 covering the top 5 positions in qualifying, which has shown quite how close and competitive it has been,
especially around here. Obviously he's done a good job in the reverse grid races to keep Bedrin to work his way through, so we'll be pretty confident of that one. I'm just pulling up the previous race control messages just so you can see that I wasn't going absolutely crazy there. It did say the safety car was coming in and then it was redeployed. All right, I'm just clearing the air on that one, don't worry. Don't worry. So Deegan Fairclough then will slow things down, and I mean, more of a question for you. Where do you go around here? Because you've got quite a few options as to when to hit the loud pedal.
Yeah, absolutely. You can choose to, as soon as the safety car lights go out, which will be any second now, they normally go out somewhere along the Wellington Straight. You can back everyone up slowly and maybe go on the entry to Brooklands and Luffield to give yourself a couple of corners to try and pull out a gap, or you can often go late so that drivers can't get a run on you out of the last corner. But you can see Fairclough immediately weaving aggressively, slowing right down, letting the safety car go ahead. The safety car is actually coming in quite slowly though, but now Deegan Fairclough is no longer weaving, setting himself ready, choosing which gear you need to be in, and will try and get some sort of a jump, because if he doesn't get away well in this one. He's going to be right under pressure from Martin Molnar. Look how close Molnar is underneath the rear wing, and that's exactly what he should be doing. Any gap on the safety car restart makes it harder, and he's gone at the apex of Brooklands.
Brilliant, there we go, timing from Deegan Fairclough, and Martin Molnar is going with him out through Luffield. They go and back out on the Woodcote Straight. We are back racing with 16 minutes and 40 seconds left to go. Fairclough leads from Molnar, from Campbell, Pilling, from Flusha, from Jacks from Flusha. There is the attack there, as it's not been a great restart from Flusha, I believe, and Rems looking for a move down into the opening corner as they head into Copse once again. And I believe that one might have gone in favour of the Rodin man. It certainly has. So Max Rems got up to 5th position, the white and black Rodin. The white, purple and pink of Lucas Flusha then sits ahead of the white, black and pink of Abby Pulling.
Yeah, Pulling now looking to get right underneath the rear wing of Flusha. Probably won't have the DRS, I imagine, this time by, but still able to use the slipstream on the hanger straight down towards Stowe corner. You can overtake both on the inside and the outside at Stowe. Not this time as we head through there, the exit of Stowe. Fairclough, good restart though. He's gained a couple of car lengths, wasn't under pressure towards Stowe, so got his job done. Molnar pushing on. Then you've got Campbell Pilling. Jax, who's had a great race so far, was racy earlier on. Can he get a podium in race 1 for Elite Motorsport side by side? That was Taylor and Rodrigo Gonzalez for VRD.
Oh, Jason Pribble as well, the number 31, was trying to get himself re-involved in all of that for 17th position, as Peter Balzanellis there in the white and black was looking to the inside. There's an inside look though for the race lead. The blue and black of Martin Molnar is right onto the rear end of the silver, red and black of Deegan Fairclough, who is feeling the pressure. I did think that he wasn't quite as clear as he was on the initial start of this race, and he is starting to feel the pressure now. Look at how class Martin Molnar is. He'll look to the outside as they head their way towards Brooklands. Left-hand side of your screen is Molnar, right-hand side of your screen is Fairclough, and Molnar, with a big send to the outside, will steal away the race lead with 15 minutes to go.
Yeah, Molnar got that move done on the outside, was ahead before the apex. Brake Lake got it done. Now, Deegan Fairclough right underneath the rear wing. If there's anything we know about Deegan Fairclough, it's that he's not going to give a win away. He's going to push this right to the end. We're in the slipstream once again as we head towards Copse Corner.
Don't count out the XL of Rowan Campbell Pilling either. Confirmation from race control, DRS is enabled, and there's 2 DRS zones. One's on the Hanger Straight, one's on the Wellington Straight. Well, after we've done Maggots, Beckers and Chapel, we'll be on the Hanger Straight, and Deegan Fairclough will have an opportunity to retake over the race lead. As they go into the S's at the moment, it's still incredibly close, and Rowan Campbell Pilling's not that far behind.
Yeah. The exit of Chapel is crucial if you're in the lead of the race. If you get a little wobble of oversteer, it'll leave you vulnerable. As we look further down the field, Jason Pribble's made a move. He's got past the number 5 of Yahao Fu, I think, on that last lap. Good move from him. A driver returned to the championship alongside Jack Taylor, who's just 2 positions ahead in 16th. Oh, we've had fighting at the front of the field. That looked like Molnar was under pressure on the way into Stowe.
He's definitely feeling it there. Look back to the inside from Deegan Fairclough, who fires it down the inside to retake over the race lead. Brilliant move from Deegan Fairclough in this absolute epic battle between Martin Molnar and Deegan Fairclough. Rowan Campbell Pilling in the white, purple and pink of XL is also there, and Max Rem fancies his chances. He looks to the outside as they head their way to Abbey, backs out of it as Flynn Jacks holds firm on the inside in the bright yellow of Elite, and then Rem's going to be under pressure from Lucas Flusha. Back to the fight for the race lead as there's Rowan Campbell Pilling down the inside. Can he hold on to 2nd position and his battle against Martin Molnar? The answer to that question is yes, but for how long, as this battle seems to be getting bigger and bigger?
Really good opportunist move there from Rowan Campbell Pilling, and he's now staying in the toe of Fairclough ahead, hoping to try and use that toe to keep Molnar at bay, but they go side by side. Molnar's got great speed down towards Brooklands. We saw him take the lead there 1 lap ago, but Lewis, I hate to say I told you so, but I said Fairclough would fight for this one, and he's now got the lead back and running away as these two fight for 2nd place.
Oh, I mean, look, if we're going to get an epic fight like this, I don't hate it at all. Brilliant racing between the pair of them, and Martin Molnar, like you say, very clearly very good off of the Village Loop section and out through Aintree. Max Rem was feeling pressure. I think it might have been Abby Pulling feeling pressure from Lucas Flusha into the opening corner. Flusha's right in the mix with both of those Rodins. Rem's clear. Rem is the one actually under that pressure. This is the fight for 5th position with Lucas Flusha and Abby Pulling behind. Nikita Bedred's not made any real progress here. He gained 2 spots at the start of the race and that's it.
Yeah, maybe he's watching all of this kicking off ahead and thinking, I'll just bide my time. I've got such a gap in the championship. I don't need to do anything crazy. But also, you're absolutely right that I think Jack Taylor, is he slowing?
He doesn't look fast.
Oh, is that just the camera angle? We'll keep an eye on Jack Taylor, see if he's continuing on there. But that was an example there of Max Rem under pressure after just a few corners before, was pressuring the back of Flynn Jacks. And that's something we see so often in single-seater racing, isn't it, Lewis? If you make an unsuccessful move, which he did exactly one lap ago into Abbey, which is where we're going to right now, you're then on the back foot once again. You've lost momentum. Then you have to defend, and you can lose touch with the drivers ahead. But one driver that hasn't lost momentum is Rowan Campbell Pillinger. Great drive, great overtake. He was right up there with Molnar, got the move done a lap ago, but Molnar once again with the speed down towards Brooklands was able to take it back. I think that battle's not quite done there yet, and actually Flynn Jacks still in this battle right here. He's actually closing up to the back of Rowan Campbell Pilling now as well, so we could be sort of almost pretty much, look at that, line astern from first all the way down the field. That's how close it is. But Molnar now being the one who's pressuring the back of Fairclough again, as we keep an eye on this yellow car of Flynn Jacks, pressured from behind from the white fronted car, the number 1 of Max Rem, and then right behind that was our driver that started third on the grid, Lucas Fluscher. He's gone backwards in this race, but we know he has the pace. Can he fight back towards his grid slot of third?
But just remember the tears that there was for Flynn Jacks at this very circuit at the start of the season, having victory robbed away from him by Jin Nakamura with a fantastic fight, it must be said. But he had that victory pulled away. It was his first podium in GB3, but he was still obviously devastated by it. He led every single lap of the race. Well, we returned to Silverstone, and clearly he's got a lot of speed because he's contending in the opening race of the weekend. This is back to the number 4 of Michelef with Patricio Gonzalez, the back end of the top 10. Michelef for the high-tech team, just about able to hang on in his third weekend of the championship. And there is Jack Taylor's car. I will tell you, it's definitely unhealthy. You could hear it onto the hangar straight. It doesn't sound healthy. He was 2 seconds down in the opening sector, was a second down in the middle sector, and is struggling again in the final. He's dropped down to 20th position. I think he's crawling around the circuit.
Yeah, we heard that last lap. We heard it again this time by. So unfortunately, Jack Taylor not going to feature in the overall results hugely in this one. But we keep an eye at the front of the field still as we look at that. The gaps at the top left-hand side of your screen. Less than a second between every driver all the way down to Michelef. In fact, that's less than a second now between everyone down to 19th place of Aurelio Nobels.
Plenty of battling up and down the order. 1 second though is your race lead from Deegan Fairclough, and with 10 minutes left to go, the fastest lap on the previous was just set by Martin Molnar. Deegan Fairclough is responding. Fastest first sector of the race, fastest middle sector of the race, and he has pulled the gap. The middle sector, he was faster than Martin Molnar, who set a PB by the way, was faster than Martin Molnar by 0.4 of a second. Incredible from Deegan Fairclough.
But Molnar seems very strong in this final sector. It looks like Flynn Jacks was having to go defensive into Brooklands. Luffield now is Max Rem in the white and black Rodin car there. The number 1 that we're looking at is pressuring the back of the 18 yellow car of Flynn Jacks. They head towards Copse Corner, which ordinarily wouldn't be an overtaking opportunity by diving up the inside, but if you can get alongside before the apex, it can be done just like that. Rem not quite able to get it done. Jacks holds him off just once again, but look who's right behind. Lucas Fluscher in the pink highlighted XL car is sitting there waiting to pick up the pieces.
Yeah, I can imagine every time that Rem dips behind that Elite Motorsports car, he loses all the downforce on the front end of it. These cars do such a fantastic job though to keep that downforce so they can sit behind each other. You can see how close they are around this circuit, but that must be incredibly difficult at Copse Corner. Rem will still just about hang on. Flynn Jacks is under pressure for 4th place, but as they head their way down into Stowe, the top 3 have pulled away, and you can see that battle in the background and how incredibly close it is. Jacks, Rem, Fluscher and Pulling all in an incredible fight for 4th position. We wait for it. It's still Jacks though, who has now got Lucas Fluscher behind because he's managed to get himself past Max Rem there into Stowe. So it's the 2 Rodins queuing up behind these 2 in the fight for 4th.
Yeah, we saw Rem actually was narrow into Beckett's, which I think would have put him out of position going through Chapel. We didn't see exactly how Fluscher got through there, but Fluscher managed to effect a move down the hangar straight, probably using the DRS, but now Fluscher looking racy to the outside of Village. That will turn into the inside of the loop. Nope, not this time. Jacks blocks that entry to the loop. But now Jacks is going to have to get a good exit. Look how close Lucas Fluscher is. There was centimetres between them, and now there's centimetres between them through Aintree as we head on to the Wellington Straight once again. Jacks does not have the benefit of DRS from the cars ahead.
You don't normally see any looks into Aintree. You do see some though here down into Brooklands. This is how Flynn Jacks lost the victory a few months ago, and there's contact between Rem, who will send Lucas Fluscher around and out at Brooklands. It's Max Rem who's found himself up then into 4th position, and Can Lucas Flusha get that car refired? He stalls a couple of times, he's trying to get it going, now does a burnout and finds himself back onto the race circuit. A huge disappointment for the XL team, kicked out of that fight for the podium.
Oh, things went from bad to worse. Flusha had a bad start, dropped down the order, was fighting his way back through, an unfortunate contact with Max Rem. We only got one angle of it, but it looked to me as if Flusha did leave Rem space there, so potentially there will be some afters with that one as Molnar takes the fastest lap off of our race leader Deegan Fairclough, keeps that gap at half a second, but that was all played into the hands of Flynn Jacks there. Was it Flusha that was spun at Brooklands at the first event of the year as well? As my memory serves me right. Let's have a look at this here. So Rem goes at the inside, past Jacks absolutely fine.
Oh, he locks out.
And just a little lock up from Rem there. Of course, we're not stewards. However, normally car on the inside locking up, quote unquote, out of control, making contact with another car leads to a penalty. So keep an eye on the GB-3.net website or the GB3 socials to find out if anything comes of that one after the race. But we cut back to our top three who are settling in, just throwing each other jabs. Still purple sectors between them, green sectors. Who's fastest at this stage of the race?
We aren't race stewards, you're right, but I can almost guarantee that will be a penalty. And guess what? It's under investigation between car 7 and car 1. So that will be between Max Rem and Lucas Flusha. A tricky one to deal with there, but you're absolutely right. By the way, once we cross the line, there should be 3 laps left for Deegan Fairclough to try and hang on for his first victory on British soil, but Martin Molnar is getting closer and closer. Yeah,
Middle sector from Molnar, looking pretty good, and then we know he's got a good run out of the loop on every lap and through Aintree. He gets closer and closer down towards Brooklands as we look at the number 1 of Max Rem, who 1 lap ago made contact there. He did make his way past Flynn Jacks before that contact, so he still holds on to that position for now. So as we'll call it as we see it, it's Fairclough Molnar, gap 6/10, little way back to Campbell Pilling, and then Rem, Jacks, Pulling, Wilson. Bedrin still not making many positions. In fact, actually, Leon Wilson's got past Nikita Bedrin in the last few laps. Or am I misremembering?
No, I think he's.
No, I think he has, because he was in 8th and we've lost a car.
Of course, Flusha's dropped back. Yeah,
of course. So
right.
Yeah, away from the cameras. Bedrin, for whatever reason, not able to replicate the pace, the savage pace he had here at the first 2 races of the season. Remember, double victory, double pole in those races, and he had to fight his way through the top 3 as he lost the lead on both of those occasions. Not his day today so far to cut back to the lead there. That's about the gap that it's been the last few laps. Half a second it remains.
Yeah, the fastest lap between the 2 of them on the last lap went the way of Fairclough by 0.06 of a second. So they're separated by very little. Molnar was faster in the first sector by, guess what, 0.06 of a second. So it closes down there. That'll be obviously with the assistance of DRS. Through the second sector, Molnar's going to lose a couple of tenths. I think he's fighting hard to try and catch Fairclough. Not sure there's going to be enough time in the tank. But if he can just cool the tyres down, just bring them back into the operating window and get this fired up again, we'll have to wait and see. He clearly had some good speed, because Martin Molnar did lead the opening race of the season around here, had a better start than Nikita Bedrin, and was leading quite a large portion of the opening part of the first race before Bedrin got back through and was able to take victory. He's clearly got some speed around here, and again in this final portion of the lap, you are spot on. Molnar is definitely faster than Fairclough.
Yeah, it seems like Fairclough has the measure of Molnar through Sector 1, which is Cops, Maggots, Beckett's Chapel. Then we got Sector 2, which goes Stowe, Vale Club, and then the Loop Village section. Then the last sector is where Molnar is so strong. It's the sort of the exit of Vale down this run on the Wellington straight towards Brooklands and Loughville, where Molnar every lap just pulls it in, although that last lap was a bit better from Fairclough, and in fact he was 2 tenths faster alone, so potentially a small error from Molnar in that last sector has just allowed Fairclough to extend the gap ever so slightly. A reminder, qualifying, they were only separated by just over 1/10 of a second over all, it's such a long lap, second longest lap of the season here at Silverstone, and it's a lot of corners out there, a lot of long corners, a lot of switchbacks, all those different variables in play, and they're still separated by less than 0.8 of a second over the pretty much entirety of this race distance. But there, Campbell Pilling still just sitting there. If anything does happen between them, he's there to pick up any pieces.
Max Rem still 4th position. That gap grows to 0.75 of a second, and I've got to say, it's with Nikita Bedrin. Not only has he been passed by Leon Wilson, there must be it's one of those ones that feels hard to say, because obviously it's still a competitive grid and all this, that, but how good Bedrin has been, something isn't sitting right there. VRD Racing started this weekend, the practice on Thursday and Friday. They looked so fast, not just with Nikita Bedford, but with Patricio and Rodrigo Gonzalez as well, to the point where we were sat there in qualifying, sat in the BRDC grandstand, suggesting that potentially this might well be a pole position for Nikita Bedford, and we were expecting the other two to be in the top 5, and it seems as though they're kind of nowhere.
Oh, it's interesting, isn't it, how many variables, I was just talking about it, how many variables there are in going GB3 rate in it, well, single-seater motorsport, and the wind conditions, we've heard about that, the wind's changing, the circuit temperature can change the way that you use the tyres and the way that the tyres react to the way that your car is set up, and the setup can go away from you, or potentially the driver's just not quite finding the groove going with the evolution of the track, as we've got a lot of support races on this weekend. We've got GT Cupper out there, Radicals among other things, and they'll be changing the circuit grip and different rubber going down, and it'll suit some teams and drivers more than others just through chance to a certain extent. So I'm sure that VRD and Bedrin will be looking at this and coming back stronger tomorrow, but in this one it just doesn't seem as if Bedrin's got the pace, and as you said, he's falling off the back of Wilson and towards the clutches of McGlade.
The last lap of the race, the final 60 seconds into the middle sector, Deegan Fairclough has gone, and considering the bad luck that he's had so far this season, I mean, what's going through his mind right now? I'm sure he won't relax until he sees that checkered flag, and then probably not even a little bit after that.
Let's not forget though, Deegan Fairclough knows how to win a race, a record winning driver in British F4 in previous seasons. He was a driver that's won multiple occasions in this championship as well, so he's just never had to do it from pole, has he?
He certainly hasn't. It's been a great weekend so far for Deegan Fairclough, having taken both the pole positions. He'll be starting from pole in tomorrow morning's race as well, and he's clearly showing some excellent speed so far at the home of British Motor Racing, as he's been able to build the gap more and more on Martin Molnar. It's been a long time coming for Deegan Fairclough. It was a long time coming last season, where we didn't see him take a victory until the very final weekend of the 2025 season. This season's been very up and down. He's had the speed, but not quite the luck. And into the final complex he is going to go. And it'll be Deegan Fairclough, for the first time in his GB3 career, taking a victory on British soil. Out through the final corner, it's Fairclough for the third time, taking a victory in GB3 as he leads over Molnar and Campbell Pilling. An epic drive, an epic battle, and an epic win for Deegan Fairclough from his first ever pole.
Yeah, that shows Fairclough. He can fight his way through and he can win from pole, and he soaked up a lot of pressure there. He didn't lead every lap of that race, did he, Lewis? He had to work for it. We said he was going to fight hard he did, but Molnar will be thinking, I'm going to try and have you tomorrow. That's what he'll be thinking.
I mean, Molnar clearly has the pace. That was a great battle, and also especially for the top three between Fairclough, Molnar, and Campbell Pilling. We'll talk about Campbell Pilling in a second. Between the three of those, they all put on a great show.
Do you know what? I think I said this after both of the first races of the season here at Silverstone. The racing has been so close. The racing has been so hard, side by side, cutting back, and yet such high quality racing and such relatively little contact. And we of course, unfortunately, we saw Lucas Flusha go round, but other than that, we were pretty clean throughout the whole event.
And let's talk very quickly then on Rowan Campbell Pilling, second podium in GB3, and it's been a real turnaround performance from him for a driver who has had pace, who's had consistency of course, but through what he'd done in British Formula 4 and then moving over here, we were actually quite impressed with how he started out here in Silverstone, a fifth and a seventh for Rowan Campbell Pilling in the XL team. Then Spa did not go his way, didn't get many points from the circuit of Spa-Francorchamps, retired and finished in 19th. Retired and finished in 14th rather. Had two other retirements whilst abroad, one at Hungaroring, one at Red Bull Ring, and did end up getting a podium in Hungary in the reverse grid race. But this will be so much sweeter than that, because this is very much an earned podium. Those reverse grid races are a little bit of a different kettle of fish, as much as only the 12 cars that get reversed. To take a podium, to take a victory in one of the opening two races of the weekend, those are the ones you really do have to fight for. And for Rowan Campbell Pilling as well, to have gone from 5th position up to 3rd, great stuff. They'll be disappointed, of course, at the XL Motorsports team, not in Campbell Pilling, but obviously in what happened with Lucas Flusha. That is under investigation, by the way, from Race Control, the incident between himself, being Lucas Flusha, and of course the number 1 of Max Rem. There are a few cars under investigation for the safety car restart. Just to give you a quick update, obviously you can find all the information post-race at gb-3.net, and of course on the GB3 social medias on Instagram and Twitter and whatnot. But the ones that are under investigation for the safety car restart, Max Rem is one of them, Lucas Flusha is also one of them, Nikita Bedrin is one of them, along with the number 27 of Leon Wilson. And that's obviously not a great sign to have 4 cars under investigation. None of them, though, are those that have ventured their way to the podium. We'll see Deegan Fairclough climb out of his car, and the big celebrations for the Rocket-sponsored High-Tech Man, and big celebration straight over to the team. I'm sure there'll be a great debrief after this, and for a driver who's almost come to terms with his poor luck within the GB3 Championship in 2026, has really found his form this weekend. And we have only completed one half of the 2026 season, so there is a potential to reignite your challenge. And whilst Nikita Bedrin, we all expect to run away with the championship, the lead is immense and almost insurmountable. The fight for second is very much on, and there's still some important things up for grabs, important prizes, important super license points up for grabs for those that finish in the top 5 of the championship. And obviously finishing in second will be a pretty good effort for Deegan Fairclough, as we'll pan around and see the other drivers out of the car. Obviously we did see the celebrations from Rowan Campbell Pilling. Martin Molnar, I'm sure we're getting a little bit frustrated with this. That'll be his 6th podium of the season, not taking a victory. 6th podium in effectively 12 races, because the second race, one of the races at Spa we obviously had cancelled. For Martin Molnar, the second race around here earlier on in the season, he didn't even start the race, was taken to the race start, and then unfortunately the car did not go with him, and so he had to retire that one before even a lap was turned. And obviously for this, a return to the podium, but not the victory. He was very excited to get his chance back in Hungary, as we've got Chris McCarthy on our screen, and we'll head down to him.
Thank you, Lewis. Yes, just down here in Parfumé now. We're going to catch up with winner Deegan Fairclough. Deegan, come over. On the top step of the podium again this season, and at Silverstone home track as well. How does that feel?
Yeah, it's a mega feeling. Love Silverstone, it's so good, and it's nice to have a little bit of a battle as well with Molnar then. But yeah, hopefully that's good points in the championship, which I'm really pleased, and car felt really good, so thank you, massive thank you to the team.
Yeah, Martin really made you work for it out there, didn't he? It looked like good fun.
Yeah, I mean, he's on the lower wing and we're on the higher wing, so on the straights he had us, and in the corners we was able to get a good run out of turn 7 and have a good move into the chicane.
And in a season of real ups and downs at times, how does it feel to come back to a home track here at Silverstone, get on the top step? And as you said, good points as well. You've made some real places in the championship there.
Yeah, exactly. It's the second half, and hopefully this second half is less unfortunate, and we can have a good one.
Deegan, congratulations and good luck for tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
Well done to Deegan there. Well, let's go next to Martin Molnar, who is right here. Martin, come this way. Martin, another podium for you this season. You're really racking them up now. How does that one feel?
Yeah, it was really good. Yeah, at least could challenge again for the win a little bit. Sadly then I made a mistake which took the lead out of my hand, but yeah, great move for him. Yeah, it was a great race, and the pace was really strong, so I'm looking forward for tomorrow.
And a place up in the championship as well. Good points for you there.
Yeah, really good points. It's definitely a good race for the championship. Well, I really wanted to have that first win. It was close, but I'll give it a go tomorrow.
Think you can get that first win tomorrow?
I would like to think so. The pace was really good, so I'll give it my best.
Good luck. Good luck for tomorrow, and well done.
Thank you.
Well done. Rowan. Hello. How are we doing? Yeah, good to see you, mate. A podium as well. Back on the podium again. How does that one feel?
Really good. You know, we didn't get to fully experience the podium at Hungary. We've got the silverware, but we didn't get to go and experience it. So it's going to be a good time up on the podium, and we look forward to it.
If you could pick a track to do it, Silverstone must be right up there in the list for you.
For sure, it's great to be back on home soil after our few away trips with GB3, but no, great to be back on the podium here, and the team have done an awesome job. The car was great, and we're coming along nicely together.
You said you're coming along nicely. Does this feel like another real step forward for you in the championship and this season as well?
For sure. I mean, you're always learning, right? And for me, this is my first year in GB3, so it's a case of learning, enjoying it as much as possible, but maximise the learning. There we go. So the words will come out in the end. Maximise the learning, and I think that's what we're doing this weekend. You know, we've been strong since the get-go, and now it's time to really consolidate on the strong pace we've had and get some results.
The podiums are coming, wins not far away, I'm sure. Good luck for tomorrow.
Thank you very much, Chris.
Well done to Rowan Campbell-Pilling, and there you go, 3 different teams on the podium as well, so really good stuff from the drivers there. A great race to kick us off, right, and that's just the first one of the weekend. 2 more still coming up tomorrow, but first let's recap with what just happened in race 1 and go back up to Lewis McGlade in commentary.
Highlights from round 13 of the GB3 Championship. It was Deacon Beckloff leading from his first ever pole position in GB3. Martin Molnar with a great start from second position was able to hold on from the XL duo, but it was Lucas Flusha to the outside. Bit of a slide from him, bit of a slide as well from Max Rem, and unfortunately for Ricardo Baptista there was a retirement. It would bring out the safety car, meaning that Deacon Fairclough would have to get things controlled from the restart, and he would get it controlled very nicely indeed as he would hold on to that race lead from Martin Molnar. Molnar would get to the outside by the time they get down towards Brooklands, but a brilliant fight back from Fairclough would see him steal away the race lead again. Rowan Campbell-Pilling onto the scene to try and get onto the rear end as he was fighting for his first ever victory. A big look to the outside from Flusha. Unfortunately would see contact between himself and Rem, and a spin round for the Spanish driver would see him drop down to 17th position. Nikita Bedrin was struggling for speed this weekend as well, finishing towards the back end of the top 10, whilst Fairclough was victorious. His first win in the British circuit. Well, we can see there Deacon Fairclough out of the car, and a superb victory for Deacon Fairclough. We'll see our way through the results as well. Very provisional as well. Fairclough, Molnar, Campbell-Pilling, the top 3, with Max Rem, then Jax, Pulling, Wilson, Bedrin, Mikulev and Patricio Gonzalez, the top 10. Of course, that will affect things when it comes to the championship. Nikita Bedrin's championship lead is being cut down somewhat indeed. Of course, courtesy of that podium from Martin Molnar, who will head up to second of the championship, 97 points behind Nikita Bedrin. But Deacon Fairclough taking his first victory on British soil. Of course, it's a brilliant weekend for racing in GB3, and we've seen that very much in that race. Different downforce levels is what was being expected from Deacon Fairclough. We'll take a look at the top 10 standings actually. Nikita Bedrin won 332 points, 97 clear of Martin Molnar. Lucas Flusha in third position with Max Rem 3 points behind. Of course, his result in that race will be provisional after his contact between himself and Lucas Flusha. Patricio Gonzalez there in fifth position. Flynn Jax, a top 5 moves him to 6, back-to-back top 5s as well, and that victory for Deacon Fairclough moves him up to 7th in the championship ahead of Abby Pulling. Rowan Campbell-Pilling on the podium with Kyuho Lee rounding out the top 10 there in the standings, but haven't got a top 10 in either of the previous 2 races for the elite motorsports driver, so a bit of work left to do. So the drivers will be heading towards the podium here, just outside of the race hub, open to the public, as we've seen quite a few crowd heading their way towards the race hub this weekend. And we'll see onto the top step of the podium Deacon Fairclough in a second. Before that, though, we'll welcome Rowan Campbell-Pilling onto the podium for the second time. It was his first time standing on the rostrum, though, after he was given a podium post-race back in Hungary. Second position, it'll be a brilliant performance from Martin Molnar to grab his 6th podium, his second here at Silverstone. And, of course, to the top step of the podium for the second time this season, for the first time in Great Britain, here's Deacon Fairclough for the high-tech team. A superb performance, and you could suggest it was maybe dominant. It was controlled at a bare minimum. Obviously played his cards right in the difference in downforce. There between himself and Martin Molnar. Jonathan Palmer there, ready to hand out the trophies to our top 3. Chief Executive, of course, of MSV. And, of course, the biggest of all, going the way of Deegan Fairclough. What can he do from tomorrow's race as well, where he'll once again be starting from pole position? And eyes, I'm sure, on a second victory here at Silverstone and a fourth in totality in GB3 for him to really reignite himself in the second half of the season. He finds himself nearly 200 points behind the championship lead. Unlikely that that will be overturned, but I guess you never know. And as it's a Saturday afternoon race and we're not having to wait around for another race this afternoon, they get to spray some bubbles around on the podium as well, and probably hit some of the very expensive cameras that are in and around the podium. Obviously, you got to enjoy the moment, and for Deegan Fairclough, there hasn't been any of these so far, or many of these rather, so far this season. Just that victory back in Hungary, the only time he's still on the rostrum this season. As we'll hand back down then to Chris McCarthy and Piers Pryor.
Hello, there we are. Well, there we go. First podium of the weekend. We've swapped places.
Is that better?
That's better. Yeah, I can talk now. So completely. First podium of the weekend. Really good atmosphere around here for the drivers. Oh, there we go.
And one of the media representatives.
Martin Molnar just absolutely soaking someone there. Good race to kick us off as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, really good race. We've got Deegan Fairclough getting some photos from the fans here right in the background. It's great to have such support here.
Yeah, we're photo bombing that, aren't we?
Yeah, should we just jump out of the way? But no, really good race because I enjoyed the fact that Deegan, to a certain extent, he won't enjoy me saying this, but he didn't have it his own way.
No.
He got past by Molnar, had to work for it, pushed his way back through. As he pushed, that makes it sound like he did something illegal. It wasn't. It was a good move. But no, really good. Shows how close it is. Interesting to me, though, Nikita Bedrin. I'm hoping to grab a word with Nikita. Was hoping to get him live on the show right now, but all the drivers just cooling off. It's quite hot here now at the moment, so we'll get some of those interviews in ahead of the next show for tomorrow morning. But interesting to see that Bedrin didn't really make a huge amount of progress in that one, considering he was so fast at the start of the year. Then we had that dramatic moment between Rem and Flusha as well. So plenty of stories, plenty more to play for this weekend, plenty more excitement to come.
Yeah, any standout performances for you? I know Deegan getting the victory, really good, but were there any sort of surprise performances for you in there?
Surprise, no, but I think the standout for me, Flynn Jack's right there or thereabouts, fighting for genuine. It was at the back of the podium. Actually ended up fifth. I think it was fifth on the road, but I'm expecting Rem to potentially get a penalty after that contact with Flusha. Again, I've only seen a couple of angles. That's still to be confirmed. There may be mitigating circumstances. They did go 3 wide. However, Flynn Jack's fighting for a genuine top 5 and overall pace. We know he's had a win, but he nearly got a win here last year, but often it's been in that partially reverse grid, whereas absolutely to do with pace. We spoke to him ahead of the first race in a good place. We'll see what he can do again from the good grid slot again tomorrow.
Some changes in the championship as well within the top 3. Molnar gaining a place, and that resulted in really good for Deegan. Yeah. And I think what we've seen from that as well, 35 points for the wins in the first 2 races. Things can change very quickly, even with a lead like Nikita Bedrin has. If you just get off the boil for 1 race or 2, then the gap can shrink right down.
Well, I mean, it sounds obvious, but we're less than halfway. The halfway point of tomorrow's race 2 will be the halfway point of the season, and therefore the gap that Bedrin has got now looks insurmountable, but in theory he's got that in half a season, so it can be eroded in half a season. And if Bedrin's lack of form continues that he's had from this race, then who knows what could happen.
And preview for tomorrow as well. We've got our reverse grid race tomorrow as well, so that'll be an interesting one to put those drivers a little bit further back and have them trying to get their way through the grid. That's going to be a good one.
Yeah, and also we don't forget we've got Deegan Fairclough from pole, Rowan Campbell-Pilling, who was looking racy. At the one point he looked like he could be making a move for the lead, was up in second place. He's going to be going from second place. If he gets a good start, he could have an opportunity at a win in a standard race as well, and have a new winner on the board. So we'll keep an eye on things there. It's a lot to play for. I think it's setting itself up nicely for the rest of this weekend and for the rest of the season, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it is. Like you said, we're only halfway through, so what a race it's been to kick us off here this weekend. Plenty of people behind us have enjoyed that one. Hope you have too. We're going to be back for 2 more races tomorrow, so make sure you join us for that. GB4 coming up just now as well. We got just a bit of a break, and then GB4. So still more entertainment to come today from the paddock. Make sure you tune in to GB4, and GB3 will be back for 2 more tomorrow. But for now, from here at Silverstone in GB3 terms, from myself, Chris McCarthy, Lewis McGlade, and Piers Pryor, it's goodbye.